What?
Welcome back to We Talk Football. It's your host, B and E. We are back again today, and this week, it's a doubleheader. You've seen us on Monday. We're back on Friday.
Putting in the shift. You get two of us. I mean, like, come on. I mean, you can't complain. Twice the soccer content. Brandon, let's just jump right into it. Let's start with WOSO. Take us away.
So the biggest news coming out of WOSO has to be Team GB, which is Great Britain, who is in Canada's group for the Olympics. They dropped their squad for the Olympics already. So their 18-team squad, since they are Team GB, it's going to consist of players from England, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Scotland. However, they opted to only go for one Welsh player, 2 Scottish players, and then 15 English players. So that means no Northern Irish players made the cut, and a lot of WOSO fans are up in arms about who got selected.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing an England shirt, which is pretty ironic. Let me explain this. Great Britain, corrupt scammers, all right? Soccer tournaments, they want to have separate countries. For the Euro qualification for the women's, England was by themselves. Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland were all by themselves. And guess what? England and Northern Ireland qualified for the Euros, and guess who didn't? Wales and Scotland. Yet not a single Northern Ireland player was selected for Great Britain. Yes, I understand you want to select the best players, but you gotta have some representation. And then, so basically, why are you forming Great Britain? I know it's your thing, but pick one. You're either by yourself or together. Not you show up for Olympics. Oh, look, we're 4 countries strong, and then for everything else, you want to be individual pride. Pick one. This is nonsensical for Canada. Like, we have to face against 15 English players, and then plus Welsh, Scottish. How's that fair? You're facing against 3 countries in one team. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and if you are going to make the teams, shouldn't they be a bit more balanced? Because we're seeing a lot of Scottish players, such as Aaron Cuthbert from Chelsea, who played in a Champions League final, not make the cut, not even make the provisional side. And then on the Welsh side, you only see Sophie Ingle, who again was on that Chelsea side in the Champions League. But you're missing players like Jess Fishlock, who we got to see in the Canada versus Welsh game. She ran everything in the midfield for them. Where was she? Why did she not make the squad? We also see players like Jordan Nobbs, who we again saw against the Canada team in the midfield. Great peg on her. Her long shots and her endurance are something Team GB needs. We're not seeing that. So it's sort of weird how they get to choose from all these teams and still not pick the best squad.
It's just annoying. I understand you want to pick the best players, so this is basically like the Great Britain All-Star team, but they didn't pick the best players, so I don't know what they're doing. Tough for Canada. Do you think we could pull it off? Do you think we could beat them in the Olympics?
Well, we've seen Canada against Wales. We beat them. We've seen Canada against England. And I may say England wasn't at their best, yes, but Canada put in a shift. They got the win. So obviously we can beat this team, even though they're united. Well, we'll have to see when it comes time.
I agree. So in other WOSO news, the NWSL keeps on chugging along. Again, links in the description, but you can catch their games on Twitch. Keep watching that. But anything else to talk about in the WOSO world?
Just Sinclair scoring goals as usual.
Let's put up that goal she just scored.
Obtained by Portland. Christine Sinclair finds Crystal Dunn. Dunn delivers. Bardsley. Sinclair chipped and scored! Dunn delivers. Bardsley. Sinclair chipped and scored! Regular season goal number 51 might be the most impressive of all.
Absolute banging of a goal. Like, I still cannot believe that one American article didn't even put her on the top 40 football players. Like, I want that guy's head examined. Look at that goal. Look at your list. Make it make sense. Come on now.
It doesn't make sense. It's just because she's Canadian. Canadians have a bad rep, but we are taking the football world by storm.
Talking actually about that, Ashley Lawrence was named on the UEFA Women's Champions League final squad. Everyone knows about Kadisha Buchanan. Ashley Lawrence takes her spot. Canada's defense is looking really, really solid for these Olympics. And I mean, I don't know when the roster is going to be fully announced, but I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we have a couple of friendlies before that Olympics against the likes of Czech Republic, who is ranked 27th in the world, and Brazil, who was tied for 8th, but they jumped up ahead of us. They're also in the Olympics. So we are going to be seeing a very strong Canadian side fighting for those last few spots. Kadisha Buchanan will probably make her return. We will see Lawrence. Will she be in the midfield? Will she be in the defense? A lot of questions still to be answered for Canada. Hey, so it's Brandon from the future. So not even 5 minutes after me and Eddie stopped recording, Bev Priestman, the manager of Canada's national women's soccer side, announced her squad that she's going to be taken to the upcoming friendlies against Czech Republic and Brazil. So this was going to be a big talking point, but we weren't sure when it was going to come out. So I'm just going to run you through some of the biggest things that are happening from this release. So first things first, this is going to be the last chance for everyone on the national side before we go into Tokyo for the Olympics. Bev Priestman has already come out and said she has 2/3 of her 18-player squad ready, so that means there's only a few spots that are up for grabs. There are only a few spots left to get on that plane to Tokyo, and right now there are 28 players who got called up to the camp, which is more than usual. Usually it's around 23 players you bring on your squad, but Bev Priestman wants to have a chance to look at everyone, at least one more chance. And there's 30 players who are basically on her mind at this point. 28 in camp and 2 who are still back at home, those being Riley Foster, who is a keeper. She was on the squad before, but she had to make way since she's the youngest, and Bev Priestman wanted to look at a different goalkeeper, that being Sabrina D'Angelo. She was out injured, and this is her first chance to come back into the side, so she made the squad of Riley Foster. And the other inclusion that we didn't see was Diana Matheson. She has 206 caps to her name. She's an absolute dynamo in the midfield. She brings leadership. And she was the one who scored the bronze medal winning goal against France in the 2012 Olympics. She's still out injured with a foot injury that's kept her out a long time. And there's question marks. We know she has quality, but will she be able to make it back on time before the Olympics? Right now, it's not looking good for her chances. In other news, Kadisha Buchanan finally gets her chance to show to Bev Priestman that she belongs on the squad. We already know she is a top 20 center back in the world. The last camp, she had a COVID outbreak within her team, so they weren't allowing her to travel for the national team. So this is our first chance to get to see her in our defense. Our defense has been strong when she was out with the likes of Vanessa Gilles from Ottawa. We love to see it. And Shalina Zadorsky. They were holding it down at the back, but now we're even stronger. So it's good to see there. Again, there's going to be 4 players who made this squad who were out injured last time. D'Angelo, who I've spoken about. Kaylin Sheridan, who got injured in the earlier camp. It was in the She Believes Cup. Leon, who had a foot injury at that She Believes Cup. We saw that she got injured. She played through it. She's been out ever since, but now she's back. And Bianca St. George, who is a great fullback. We haven't got to see her, but I've been watching her last year in the NWSL. She is a great player. She also has a YouTube channel, so we'll link that down below. They make a return from their injury, and the squad is looking nice and sharp. Right now, we have depth in so many positions. You could go so many different ways with this squad. And the last thing we have to focus in on is that there's 4 keepers in camp and Riley Foster back at home. They're only going for 3 open spots. Who's going to take it? Steph Labe has been there. She's been there, done that. She's the current number one. Caitlin Sheridan is right at her heels, chopping at the bits for her spot. She's been playing well in the NWSL. And then you also have Erin McLeod, who's been our keeper for years and years. And then Sabrina D'Angelo. So it's going to be interesting to see who makes that final cut. We might make a video on that, but stay tuned. Back to the video.
Of course, and Olympics start in July, so we do have another month of waiting. But don't worry, more soccer still to come. I think that's it for the Wolves segment, which means I'll go break.
Very aggressive.
Them and space raiders. Aliens' heads. I'm going.
Ole's at the wheel.
Tell me, how good does it feel
To see Man U lose in the Europa League final against Villarreal? I was wrong, Brandon was right. But I think this time I'm happy I was wrong. Brandon, what happened?
So, as I said, Manchester United has been hot and cold all season. We saw a good defensive performance from Villarreal. I don't see why they can't pull that off again.
It wasn't a good.
Villarreal's defense could hold it together against Arsenal, and they showed they could do it again against a big English opposition. They held Manchester United to only one goal. I told you it was going to go into extra time. But I'm going to say it's going to be 1-1.
1-1.
And then it's going to go into extra time.
Okay.
It did just that. And this penalty shootout, you don't see penalty shootouts like this. Each team scores into the 10th round. They both score, and then it's the keepers that come up. The keepers. Geronimo Rulli, top right-hand corner. De Gea steps up. This man was shook, bro. There was no way this man was scoring. He showed he was going bottom right. Rulli stops it. And Manchester United loses on penalties to Villarreal. And congratulations to Villarreal. They deserved it.
You know, Emery is a Europa League merchant. He's a Europa League merchant. I should never have picked against him.
Unai Emery's a fraud. He's a fraud.
I don't think we could call a man who's won the...
With Sevilla. With Sevilla.
Times.
With Sevilla.
But the question is now, Man U didn't win a single trophy this season. Does that remind you of another club? Tottenham, Real Madrid.
Arsenal.
We won a trophy.
Seems like Arsenal might have been the problem. Maybe that's why they couldn't win the Europa League.
Anyways, Man U, is Ole the right manager for Man U?
When you look at it, he's a great player manager. But when you look at the players that Manchester United has, they're still off the top a bit. Liverpool had a down season. Man City is still above them. There's no way Ole is the guy for the job. You need someone way more pragmatic. He does well in big games, don't get me wrong, but over the duration of the season, you need someone with a stronger mentality, and Ole just doesn't have that.
Ole hasn't won a trophy in 3 years. That should tell me a sign. People say Man U's a big club. I don't see it. I don't see it. You go down from Champions League, you make it Europa League final, you should easily beat this Villarreal side. You don't. With the players Bruno, Cavani, Pogba, like, you should not be going to penalties against Villarreal. But they did, and they lost. Which means I was wrong in predictions.
Yes, but Villarreal is not a good team. I'm looking at a 4-0, 4-1 win by Man United in the final. Mark it down. Unai Emery's a fraud. He's a fraud.
And I had a tough streak of predictions that did not go my way. Starting with the Chelsea women's side.
Barcelona's a good side, but Chelsea I think is better.
Now Man U. Now the other prediction I made was for the Champions League final, which is happening this weekend. Brandon, what were our predictions?
I decided, 2-1 Man City. It's going to be a close-ish game. And you decided to offer a very convincing 3-1 victory for Manchester City.
Yeah.
What were you thinking there?
I still stand by it. I mean, the way Man City was playing, they looked deadly. Back then, the way Chelsea was playing, they looked deadly too. I still stand by it because Chelsea, their past couple results, the FA Cup loss, then the last game of the season loss against Aston Villa. I don't know. It's just not a good streak to be going. Obviously, it's just one game. They beat Man City, but I think this is all Man City needs now. That's all. They've won everything else. The season's done. Chelsea also know they're in the Champions League next season regardless. So yes, obviously they want to win, but they don't have that like we need to do this to survive kind of factor. So I still think Man City win. Is it gonna be 3-1? I don't know, but for sure I think Man City's winning.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. Man City, this is to cement their legacy. Like the Premier League, that's all well and good, but Pep, when he took this job, his whole thing rested on him winning a Champions League. They finally have the opportunity to do it, and against a team such as Chelsea, who on paper they shouldn't be qualifying, or they shouldn't have gotten this far. They've had some easy opponents, barring like the semifinals, but like semifinals you should be facing tougher opponents. They shouldn't be here on paper when you look at that team. So this is a great opportunity for Man City to win it. Pep, he has to show that he's not Fraudiola here. I think he will do it.
He's gonna do it. All right. So that's a prediction. I mean, wow. What's so much drama? We both picked Manchester City. Will we finally get a prediction right? I know Brandon got the whatever. We're not gonna talk about it. But the last topic we want to talk about today: managers. First off, you already said Ole is not the man for the job. There's other managers that are circling around. Starting with Real Madrid, Zidane has left. Allegri has left his club. Tottenham are allegedly talking to Pochettino again. Brandon, as a Tottenham fan, is Pochettino the man for the job? I think he's a bigger fraud than Fraudiola. He didn't win anything with PSG. Why are you interviewing him again?
He came out of deficit for PSG. He picked up the job. He was 6 points off the league. When he finished the season, he was 1 point off the league. So
he also still didn't win the Champions League. The Champions League, what happened there? He was managing
Champions League. Anything could happen in the Champions League.
You need to win.
Two-legged tie.
What has he won as a manager?
He is a developmental manager. See, when he is backed in the transfer window, he will show results. When he's not backed in the transfer window, he still shows out. He takes his team deep in Champions Leagues.
So what's the deal with Tottenham? He's gonna be coaching in the what is it called? Conference League?
So I'm okay with it. Tottenham needs a manager who's good with the youth, because they have great youth prospects coming through the system. It needs to be a rebuild for Tottenham, or else there's no point. Like, you might as well stick with the good old Ryan Mason over here.
I mean, listen, even if you sign Pochettino, I'm not worried. Your club's never going to win anything. We're moving over to Real Madrid. Who's going to fill that position? Is it going to be Allegri?
Well, Allegri's already planning on moving to Juve as of today, so he might be off the table. Zidane had to leave. Like, he overweighted his stay. He had a good run, won some Champions Leagues. He was great as a player, but it was his time to move, and I'm not sure who even takes that job, to be honest.
Pirlo's on the board now.
But what did he do at Juve? First time in 10 years that they didn't win the Serie A.
Is it time to stop hiring these player coaches?
Like,
is it time? I mean,
no reason to.
You had the gym teachers in Ole and Frank Lampard, and I guess you can move that to Pirlo. At least Zidane somehow won something, but Farmers League, so
he won a Champions League.
Oh, okay, fine, but anyone could win.
2 Champions Leagues?
Listen, I could have managed that Real Madrid squad and won the Champions League. That's nothing to do with Zidane. Because when it actually comes to doing something, he obviously proved that he can't win anything. This season, he finally has some good competition, and he goes trophyless. But
yeah, but also, again, rebuild. No more Ronaldo. It's life after Ronaldo. You are relying on Karim Benzema to take your team. Yeah, he's a good side man, but is he the main guy you want to be relying on?
Rebuilds. All right. So, we don't have any predictions for who's filling the Real Madrid spot
right now?
Pochettino.
Is he the guy? I know he hates Barcelona with a passion. He said he would never do it. He said he would retire before he goes to Barca.
So maybe.
So it makes sense.
Maybe Ole.
They don't take gym teachers over there, man. Are you gonna go from World Cup finalist to some gym teacher from Norway? There's levels to this game,
Bro,
man.
bro, put respect to Ole, bro. He's at the wheel. Taking them to a trophyless season. Love to see it. But is there anything else you gotta talk about this week?
We've been telling you about the Canadian talent, and I just want to highlight Daniel Jeffson. I put it in the notes a few weeks back. Oh, this kid's tearing it up in the U18s for Sheffield United. He made his first senior debut, scored in it for Sheffield in the Premier League, and there's a little problem here. Like, he's dual nationality.
Oh,
so
not this again. Not this again.
England, Canada. Is he gonna pick? Allegedly, he grew up in Milton, and I was in the comments and under the zone. I'm like, oh yeah, Jeffson scored, and his cousin was like, oh yeah, I'll tell him to join Canada. So I think we might be in, guys, but who knows? Who knows?
We got Scout Brandon. I mean, listen, we knew about Drew Becky from Brandon and I. I'm just saying. But as Martin said, the Canadian talent. I wrote an article asking if we're in the golden era. Okay, first of all, I want to clarify. Obviously, we're not in the golden era. It's a clickbait title. You guys need to stop commenting and arguing, saying, I know we're not in the golden era. We haven't won anything. But we're entering it, hopefully, with the
Gold Cup's coming up.
amount of players that won in Europe. There's a whole list on the article. Go check it out on 613sportsblog.com. But that's going to wrap up this week's episode of WTF. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Stay tuned. Champions League finals this weekend. We say Man City's going to win. I don't want to see Chelsea winning. It'll make me so happy if they lose this. And of course, for Woso, links in the description. Check out NWSL on Twitch. This was WTF. No, we ain't cussing. We talking football. Peace.
I'm leaving. Ice on me, man. I got diamonds, but they say that I don't need them. She gon' need me.
Love to see it.